What's up, everybody? It's Frankie Finn coming at you in Spain. So I want to tell you in this video like a couple things we learned from building our lawyer business up to 50K a month a couple years ago. And what are some of the biggest lessons I learned that would most benefit you to be able to have your own experience of that kind of really fast success. And what was interesting about this is, for me, wherever you're starting, it doesn't really matter. This was a brand new niche for me when I got into the lawyer niche. So I didn't know anybody. I had zero connections. I had $0 when I started the business because I had let my bank account run to zero, just took a year off. As well as the fact that not only did I let my bank account go to zero, but I didn't know anything about lawyers. I just knew I wanted to work in this niche at the time, which, by the way, I would not recommend, but it is what it is at the time. I wanted to. And so what are the big takeaways that can really help you be more successful? The first I want to tell you, it sounds really, really simple, but nobody thinks about it, and it's called empathy. And let me tell you very strategically how I developed and cultivated empathy like no one else, where I was literally in their head. So there's really two ways I did this. And the first way is I went on websites and I just searched on Google. So Quora was one of them, Reddit was another, and Facebook groups were another. And what I looked for is just conversations that these people were having, and I just allowed myself to listen in. One of the beautiful things about the internet is people will pour their heart and soul out because they believe they're anonymous to a certain extent. And so, especially if it's in a private group or something like that. And so it gave me a chance to really listen. So one of the things that came out of it is I remember I heard this one lawyer, so there was a question and it said, what's the hardest part about being a lawyer? And the guy said, by far the clients. I don't mean the good ones who trust you like a good professional. I mean the ones who don't listen to you. They think they know the law better than you, or they're just so pissed off at the other person they want to make them hurt, or they're just immune to reason for any number of reasons and things like that. And so when I really listened to this, and this, by the way, had almost 100 likes and comments and things, so I knew that it was true based on the fact that it had been demonstrated that a lot of other people in his market agreed with it. And so what I found by doing that is that you can really get inside their head and understand them, and this really helps because when you create offers and when you create messaging and when you create anything that is going to help your market, it really has to serve in some way. It has to benefit them. It has to fill some deep, fulfilling need that's not being met. And so I found that by really just listening to them better than anybody else before I started, that I could create something that truly resonated with them. And the second way is really, really simple. And I did a lot of this just at conferences in person. I just talked to them and I asked them what's going on in the world and really, really listen. And again, this is really, really powerful because you'll understand what people are really thinking and feeling and what they're really struggling with. And then when you create offers, you'll already know that they're going to benefit and serve people because you'll have heard the same thing 27,000 times from people. So one of the things, for example, just to give you a real tangible example of this, is one of the things that I experienced is the beginning lawyers. I would hear a lot, well, I just need more clients. And then I would say, well, why do you need more clients? And they would say, well, I got bills this month that I can't pay. And I'd say, why can't you pay your bills? And they'd say, well, I have up and down income. It's like a roller coaster. 1 month I make 40,000, the next month I make 2. I never quite know. I got all these referral partners, and I never know if they're going to send me somebody or not. So I'm completely dependent on the ebb and flow of it, and I don't really have a way to control my own business. And so, of course, when you hear this 20 times in a row, it comes pretty easy to then create a message that says, hey, are you stuck on the income roller coaster because you need more clients? Would you like a way to have control over your business and be able to systematize it so that people show up consistently, predictably, and that you become massively successful and you can actually focus on helping clients instead of trying to get them? Of course, that message resonates with them, of course. But I only knew that from doing the empathy work. Now, it sounds really simple, but I think most people try and skip this step. They go straight to, how can I make a buck? How can I make $1? And so because of it, they really create offers and messaging that is doomed to work or doomed not to work. Now, here's the beautiful thing. This can only take a couple hours. You can do this in maybe 3-4 hours, and you can become infinitely more connected and understanding and appreciative of your market and the people you're trying to serve just by spending a couple hours listening. So if I had just one tip for you to do to like model and emulate this, it wouldn't be to make a better webinar or a better ad, because all those are really just tools to connect with people. Like when I've heard people ask me, like they'll ask me questions like, should I be doing Facebook? Should I do YouTube? Blah, blah, blah. Should I do this? Should I do Google AdWords? Or should I do SEO? And I always say, like, those are all just vehicles to connect with people. So understand the person first, and you're going to have a much, much better experience. So that is my 2 cents, that if you really want to emulate those kind of results and have those for yourself, there is nothing more powerful than truly developing empathy. And the beautiful thing is the internet has made this really easy. You can go online right now and just listen to people. And I hope this inspires you to actually go out there and do it. Because if you just spend 3-4 hours asking questions like I did, I just Googled what's the hardest thing about being you, what's the most frustrating thing, what do you love, why did you get into this in the first place, why would you tell somebody else not to do it? And listening to the answers to those questions and listening specifically to the most insightful answers, the ones that people upvote, the one that people agree with, the one that makes a lot of sense, what you'll find is you can learn more about people in 3 hours of research than that most people do in 10 years of being in a market. And because of it, it'll give you the ability to be able to create offers and messaging at will that works. And you can keep doing this for the long term because you'll truly understand what they're dealing with and how to explain why you created what you created for them. So, Frankie Finn, may the force be with you, over and out. And if you're not already, click that subscribe button. It should be like down over there, because this ain't the only cool idea I got, homie. May the force be with you.